How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, yesterday I surpassed 2,000 subscribers. Thank you to you all. Currently on my way to 2,100. So and thank you for you guys for that. If you're interested in entering the competition or donating into my channel, I'll put a link in the description below with my bank details and my PayPal. If you want to help my channel out and stuff, help me grow and stuff like that. I'm sure you're sick of seeing my kitchen. I know I am. So that's that, guys. Yeah, man, so obviously next week we're supposed to be doing this televised interview and stuff, me and French. It'll be later this year. It comes out on Channel 5. I've not heard back from the producer yet, so I've dropped him an email and I'm waiting for him to get back to me. Today we're going to talk about how it works sharing a cell, like cell life. Now, depending on what prison you're in and what regime you're running will depend on how much association and exercise you get. Exercise, what I mean by exercise is you go out on the yard, normally half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour a day, and you walk on the yard and you walk either clockwise or counterclockwise. That's pretty much exercise, and then you get called and you go back in. And that's that. Association is where you mix with other prisoners and stuff. You're all out, unless you're on basic or DNU, do not unlock. You'll be out. An association, you can play pool, gamble, play the PlayStation 2 if you've got one, if you become enhanced and you've got one, or you've got a friend that's got one. People play cards, people get on the phone, people post letters, people just graft and stuff, stealing from each other and stuff like that. When you're unlocked for association, it is like a marketplace, right, for those that are wheeling and dealing, and as we call it in prison, doing a bit of this and that. Cell life, though. In strange ways, guys, here in Manchester, the only maximum security prison in the northwest, doesn't mean it houses the worst of the worst. It's a Cat A prison in the sense that it's actually a multi-category prison, but it houses 40 Cat A prisoners. But it's known as a local jail. But it's very Victorian, and the regime is very harsh. I mean, I spent 22 to 20 hours a day locked up there. So who you're padded up with. If you go to prison for the first time, you won't get a say of who you get padded up with. You just get thrown in a cell with somebody like I did. Once you've been back to prison 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, hopefully that's not the case, but a lot of people, prison is a revolving door. Then you know when you land at a jail and stuff, if you get padded up with a kid and you think he's a dirty bastard, when you walk in his pad, you're like, nah, I ain't banging up with him, boss. And then they'll put you in with another kid. And then if you land at a jail and you get talking to someone in the holding cell and stuff, you might say, right, I'll get padded up with him, boss. And you can ask and stuff like that. And for a quiet life, the screws will let you pad up with who you want, pretty much. Unless you're a YO. YOs only bang up with YOs, yeah. So you're in your cell, small confined space, bunk beds, right? One television, 2 plastic chairs, right? Little bits of fucking furniture and stuff, yeah. Normally got 1 table each. I used to have a little, when I landed at Strangers, I had a little desk behind the bunk beds, under the window, and I'd sit there and I'd eat my dinner there, because in Strangers you behind your door. I'd eat there, I'd write there, and stuff like that. The other kid I was sharing a pad with, an IPP kid from Little Hulton, he used to have a little desk and stuff near the telly, and he used to sit and he used to just like, he'd eat there or something like that. You've got to work, honestly, guys, like, you might want to watch one thing, he might want to watch another and stuff. So cell etiquette is a big thing. You've got to respect each other's space and stuff. Now, in strange ways, like I say, there's 2 types. You've got single cells, you've got double cells, and then you've got double cells with ensuite. Now, I was very lucky at Strange Ways. I always ended up in a double cell with an ensuite, and what I mean by an ensuite is it's just a separate toilet with a sink and a mirror and a closed door. So if I was going shitting my back out, I'd drag an old we had loads of old newspapers in the bog, because I can't shit without, sorry to put it like that to the female subscribers, but I can't shit without reading something, whether it be the back of a fucking champagne, back of a shampoo bottle, back of an old newspaper, an old letter from my family. I was always reading something when I was shitting my back out. It's as simple as that. I couldn't go otherwise. But the thing is, right, obviously not all cells have got that. So some prisoners I'm aware of where they say, like, listen, I'll hold my shit in until you go, when we get out on social, and then I'll lock off, which means you lock yourself in the indoor from inside, which can be overridden by a screws key. You pull your little curtain across if you've got a curtain. and then you go and shit your back out and stuff because it's polite and it's manners and stuff. Sharing a very small confined space and stuff. Some people sleep the jail away. Some people will make matchsticks and glue and make like monuments or like little like helicopters or like traveller gypsy wagon things. Like some people read, some people do sell workouts, some people sleep it, some people just get off the face on drugs. But like I say, sharing a cell with another man in such a small confined space, it's not ideal, guys. For me, every prisoner in the UK should be in a single cell. That's just the way that it is. But obviously, like you used to have prisoners sharing 3 to a cell and stuff like that. And I've heard even worst case stories than that. But in my experience, I've been I played the mental health card when I went back to prison for the second time, and I got a single cell. And also on my third stretch, I got a single cell as well because, again, I played the mental health card and stuff. So yeah, that was pretty much that. But like I say, single cell, you can do what you want. Your TV's yours. You can watch what you want, do what you want. But when you're sharing a cell, honest to God, because you're spending so much time together in a very small confined space, you might get on with a kid brilliantly, but if you're in a like what they class as a maximum security prison, Belmarsh, Full Sutton, fucking Strangeways, Franklin, you know what I'm saying, right? And you're living in a very small confined space, little things start to irritate you about your pad mate, right? They might be, if they've got a phone in the pad, yeah, not a mobile, just a phone in the pad, yeah, they might be on a phone, like ringing a missus, arguing with a missus, smashing the phone up. You might have just been knocked back for parole. He might smash his cell up, and you're padded up with a kid. The kid that I was in with, I felt sorry for him. He was illiterate, so he couldn't read or write. I used to read his letters for him and stuff, and I used to write like cards out and stuff to his kids and stuff. Obviously helping a brother out. But when he used to come back and stuff, he asked for an oral hearing, right? For those that don't know, when it comes to parole, you can have an oral hearing or you can have a paper panel. He wanted an oral hearing because you go before the parole board, you make your like representations, what you've learned, how you come across, courses you've done, and I think you come across better in person. He asked for an oral hearing. What did they do? They slid a paper panel on his door. What a paper panel means is they look at what courses he has and hasn't done, they look at his offences, and blah, blah, blah. And then, even though he jumped through hoops for probation, they kept moving the goalposts, kept jumping through hoops, and they just slid a rejection under his door, and he just smashed the pad. I was hugging the telly, saying, look, Connell, don't do the telly, because the telly's, because I go sick, because the telly. I weren't asked about the furniture. I could have put the TV on a plastic chair, right, but I didn't want him smashing the telly, so I grabbed the telly. I was hugging that telly. That telly was my lifeline. The boredom in prison, guys, is the most dangerous thing in prison, in my opinion, and I stick to it. Isn't the spies, isn't the drugs, isn't the other prisoners, isn't the violence, isn't the weapons. It's the boredom and your own thoughts. It takes you to some very, very, very dark places, let me tell you. But like I say, some prisoners you'll be padded up with and it just works, doesn't it? You just get on, don't you? But then you've got other prisoners that are like, they get on with a pad mate, but because you're living together, like very, very close proximity, you might associate together, you're locked up together, you've got to eat behind your door together if you've got to eat behind your door. Like Forest Bank, we used to sit on a table in the actual, on the wands. We used to sit on a big long ass table. We used to put the tables out and we'd all eat there and stuff like that. Other people with Asperger's and stuff that didn't like being people watching them eat would go back to the cell and they'd watch TV and they'd have their dinner in the cell. Strangeways, you have to eat behind your door. And like I say, 20 hours a day in Strangeways as opposed to Forest Bank where we've probably got about 3 hours association, three and a half hours association a day. And then on a weekend you get like 6, and I'll be honest with you, I was a cleaner anyway, so I was out from first thing in the morning to like last thing at night, and then on a weekend we was locked up we was out from about 8 o'clock, and we got locked up about 5:15, yeah. And like I say, boredom becomes a big thing. The 6 hours of a soch, it becomes boring, man. Even the lads are like, get me fucking locked up, can't wait to get locked up, get behind my door, get me telly on and stuff, and get me noodles going, and people cooking in the kettle and stuff like that. But yeah, living in a cell in close proximity with another man or woman, because we've got female prisoners, is a challenging thing, man. Because like I say, a lot of prisoners in prison have got mental health problems. A lot of people get irritated quite easy. Other people don't. Some prisoners, they just get on, it just works. Other prisoners, they get on sometimes, and then they're despising each other because he talks too much, or he snores too loud, or he's on the phone and he's too loud, or he's taking every jog under the moon, or he wants to smash his pad up every 2 minutes, or, you know what I'm saying? It's a very, very putting two men that sometimes are very alike and other times they're very like opposite ends of the spectrum. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But like I say, you've got to have respect for each other. You've got to respect each other's space and stuff. Now, like I say, if you're in a cell and you need to go for a dump, right, in Strangeways, you had a metal cardi right behind the bunk. You could literally, if your padmate was on the bottom, you could literally play with his hair. If he's asleep and you need to go, you've got to go. And he's laid there, you could literally play with his hair while you're having a dump. It's as simple as that. Sometimes they have like a little green sheet and stuff, but most of them have been ripped down and stuff like that. People just sending lines down to the cell below them and stuff to get fags, baccy, drugs, whatever they could do. What I mean by sending a line is that they tie the fucking thing down, or they drop a couple of prison towels, tie them together, and then they put they rip an hole into it, tie like a brew pack or something like that, send it down to hang it out the window to the person below. He'd say, "Yep, got it," and then he'd undo whatever it was, drugs, tobacco, whatever. And then threes would send stuff down to us. We used to get sent things would come down from we was on the twos. Things would come from the fours to the threes, from the threes to the twos, and then they say, right, now it needs to go across three. So we've been up trying to get it, like throw lines out, trying to get things across to the prisoners next door to us and stuff, to get it onto the next people and the next people. It's fucking crazy, guys. Like I say, a lot of people think the prisoners are very thick and stupid. You've never seen a prisoner in action. Genius, coming out with hacks, from cooking in the kettle to what we call like pad tricks and stuff like that, pad lights and everything, and like sending out lines and stuff, and just fucking mental. Prisoners are ingenious, guys. They really, really are. And like I say, first time I saw these prison like cons tricks and stuff, as we call them, I was blown away. I was like, fucking hell, this is crazy. So that was that. But you've got to respect each other. If you want to watch something on TV and he wants to watch something on the other side, you've got to come to a compromise. Sometimes you get people that are stronger personality-wise than others. You might be very passive and this person might be aggressive, and you think, well, for a quiet life, I'll let him watch what he wants, right? But then other prisoners, you might find two fiery kids here that are like, nah, mate, it's my turn. Listen, I want to watch whatever it is, Corrie, fucking Police Chase, a film or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So like I say, living in a small confined space, guys, you can rub each other up the wrong way. Other times it just works. I was padded up with a lifer who killed his dad with an ammo. Top kid. He'd been in prison 7 years at the time I met him. He was only 26. He got sentenced when he was 19. He was up on AV's accumulated visits. Yeah, accumulated visits, for those that don't know, is if you've not had a visit. He was down in I can't think. It's a prison in Nottingham. It's eluding me at the moment. But he was in a prison. It wasn't Nottingham prison. It was Loudham Grange. He was in Loudham Grange. And he'd not had any visits for ages, right? So he then put in for AVs. AVs means because he'd not had any visits, he'd accumulated all these visits. He came back up to Salford, where he was from, obviously Forest Bank. And then we was padded up together. And then he had accumulated visits. He had a visit every day. After about 3 or 4 weeks, he ended up getting shipped back down to Loudham Grange and stuff. And then he was in Dovegate last time I heard. He ended up getting with a female screw and stuff that used to lock us up. Like I say, cell life, if you're in a single cell, you can do what you want, watch what you want, and you're at peace, man. Some people like the company because they don't like being left with their own thoughts. Other prisoners, they want to be in their own space. They need their own space because they'll end up kicking off if they don't. Like I say, other prisoners, they need that communication because even if it's just a random boring chat, because they need to keep the stimulation going because they have some very dark, fucking disturbed thoughts and stuff. When it comes to lights out and stuff like that, obviously they don't turn the light out at a certain time. You can have your fucking cell light on, you can have it off. But obviously, if you're writing a letter and your padmate wants to get his head down, you've got to find the compromise and stuff. It's all about compromise, sharing your space and stuff like that. Like I say, living in a small confined space for long periods of time, you will rub each other up the wrong way. You will get on each other's tits. It's just the way that it goes and stuff. You'll take turns cleaning the cell and stuff like that. One person, right, your day to day, go and get the brush, go and get the mop, right, sweep under the bed, you sweep it. Now you've not done it to my standard, you go in, do it. And like I say, and then, all right, it just goes on, man. It's like a marriage. It really is like a marriage, guys. You're living in a very small confined space. You've got to get on. I've seen it where prisons, where cellmates have knocked fuck out of each other because he's owed him money or he's taken liberties or whatever, or he's stolen from him because he become hooked on spice or something. I've seen prisoners get on and they're like two peas in a pod. But like I say, you've got the demographic of a wing changes every day. When people are getting out and other people are getting sent down, and it's the revolving door and the revolving door. You put one loose cannon on the wing and the whole demographic of the wing can change. It can go off. Like I say, it just goes on that way. But like I say, if you're not happy with your cellmate and stuff, bullying does go on in prison. It's a sad state of affairs, but it's true. As men and stuff like that, some people seek out people that are not as strong as themselves. Other people look after other prisoners. Some prisoners are swimming their own fucking like battle and stuff. Other prisoners are trying to push other prisoners under to push themselves up to make them feel better. Some prisoners get on. Some people mentor other prisoners. Some people are a shoulder to cry on for other prisoners. We're guys, man. We've all got emotions and stuff. We've all got something to lose. Well, for the most part, we've all got something to lose and stuff. So we're all treading water and stuff like that. And like I say, but just cell life is very, very. You've got to get on. You've got to make it work. Like I say, it's like a marriage. You've got to make it work. But unfortunately, most of them, I just think, fuck it, and just lever them and something. It goes on. But yeah, man, you've got to respect each other's space and stuff like that. And it just works, doesn't it? Right, guys, on that note, I'm going to leave this vlog here, guys. Hope you like the video. Let me know what you think about the video. Put your comments in the comment section below. I'll speak to you all soon, guys. Cody out. Bye.